You know, it might quite be possible. This could be the biggest trucking game out there right now. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and hey, welcome back. Good to see you, and welcome aboard. Thanks for tuning in to today's video on a brand new heavy cargo transport game by the name of Heavy Cargo, the Truck Simulator. Now, many times on this channel, we've covered games like American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator, and there's no doubt that those two games alone are probably some of the best driving games out there, let alone some of the best trucking games out there. And here on this channel, we also this year played another game by the name of Star Trucker, allowing us to truck out in space. And it's great to see all these other trucking related and adjacent games coming out, where it really just shows all the differences of, well, not just driving a truck, but also doing so in different environments and countries and with different specialized cargo. Well, this game allows us to transport massive amounts of equipment and, well, also large size items too, like propellers and blades of large wind energy converters and like locomotives and huge tractors and other things like that. So if you've been looking for another quote-unquote open world trucking game, then look no further. Now, this game seems to simulate a career in somewhere in a fictional Germany, like a German city in a German setting, and I believe it's a German developer too. So obviously Germany having a lot of vehicles and a lot of infrastructure and things to move them around. This is the perfect setting for a game just like this. Here we have our MAN truck, and we're going to jump in now and take our first look at the game. So welcome aboard. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel, and thank you very much everyone for hanging out. Don't forget to subscribe too, as we'll have ourselves some more giveaways here on this channel. Oh yes, just by watching and subscribing, you too could be a part of many other games being given away, and also of course more games like this in the future that we will certainly cover. Farming Simulator, anyone? Anyway, let's go ahead and start ourselves a new game where I've already started a profile and tried out the tutorial a little bit. I must report that unfortunately the tutorial for me is a little bugged. I'm not able to proceed past a certain point, which is a big red flag for a game like this that's coming out about 24 hours from when I'm recording this, but hopefully the release version and hopefully my issue is only mine alone. This is the 1.0 version, as you see down here, but games are always getting hot fixes all the time, and really the issue could be me. So let's jump into play the tutorials best we can, then go explore the world a little bit and talk more about Heavy Cargo, the Truck Simulator. Let's go.
Hey rookie, glad you made it to the company ground. We are already on the road, but take a look around. You can join us later.
Hey, I don't know if I will. There's dinner going on over here, more like Donner. What are you guys doing? Nobody's eating anything. All this good food and everyone's just sitting around. All right. Well, anyway, we got ourselves a big old vehicle here. We have a huge mobile crane, which is cool. And then we've also got like a dump truck over there, as well as some other equipment. I don't know if we can use all this stuff, but I'm guessing at some point we'll probably be using this to clear the way. So, yeah, I'm playing with an Xbox controller right now, completely playable, by the way, with a mouse and keyboard or even a steering wheel if you'd like to. But I think a good combination of at least a controller, a keyboard and mouse, and maybe a steering wheel might be the most enjoyable experience for you. The game's having us do a little physical exercise here, so jump and crouch and do a dodge roll like it's Elden Ring or something like that. We now need to rotate our camera all the way around and zoom in and zoom out. All right, let's go ahead and jump in our vehicle here. We have ourselves the like the survey car.
Hey rookie, are you ready to go?
I am.
Get yourself familiar with the vehicle and join us. We could need your help.
Useful bindings. Oh, nice. We actually have a pop-up showing us everything in which we can control the vehicle. If we hold left, we also get additional information too for some of the other secondary controls, so that's pretty helpful. We've already got our beams on too, so that's nice. They want us to look to the right, look up and down, and then change the orbit cam to bumper, and then the orbit cam, bumper, and then back into the cockpit. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and start the engine, release the handbrake, and we'll drive to where we need to drive. Now, this is a pretty realistic driving simulator, so the driving is kind of like muddy and slow, and it really does try to capture what it's like to drive a heavy vehicle and or all the vehicles that will support it. So we're going to try to drive as realistically as we can, but if I get into an accident or if I hit a pedestrian, for example, just keep it as a note as to what will happen if, well, let's try to bump into this car here and see what might happen. We're trying to, cause maybe an accident. There's no physical damage of our vehicle or their vehicle either. Looks like the AI is pretty intelligent, though, trying to get back on the road, and so I think the game will try to default to, having everybody drive safe and realistically as possible. And even for pedestrians, for example, they'll maybe try to jump out of the way a little bit, or be like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Like that. Like, "Dude, dude, get off the road." And then they like despawn. So yeah, kind of interesting though that they put in a little bit of extra work rather than just clipping through people who kind of are like ghosts. They actually kind of animate towards you and are like, "Dude, what are you doing?" So I find that as a good touch. So clearly we're in some sort of a German city, and there's a lot of industrial areas around here. There's a big open map too, which is really cool. And it seems to be like a, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like a, maybe a Transport Fever 2 map that's been really nicely built up. And there's certainly a lot of detail to it as well. So if you're looking for something that's got a little bit more detail in it, this certainly is that. And it does remind me of a huge scale farming sim map, as well as the detail of an American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator. So a good combo of all those things. All right, those folks are finally turning left, so we're going to jump into the right lane here and try to go forward. Looks like both lanes are a turn lane too. We'll try to obey traffic laws as best we can, but I also want to try to get going and show everything off here too, because we don't want to sit in traffic. That's no fun for a video. But it does show that we can fully realistically simulate all these things, and yeah, it's still on par with those other bus simulators that we've seen, farming simulators. ATS Euro Truck also feels a little bit like maybe Train Sim World as well. I don't know why, but just like the environments and the graphics and the details to things do remind me of that a little bit. Okay, well, we got a little bit of a ways to go here to get out of town, and they're going to have us take a look at a power line and basically try to take a photo of it and measure it to see if heavy cargo can pass through that area. Right now we're also trying to obey the speed limit of 70 kilometers, so we'll try not to go over that too much on our way out to whatever we're taking pictures of. Now, I honestly think that this game is probably when you want to play with a steering wheel, especially with the precision of something like a Logitech, what's it, G920 or 29, whatever I use, the Xbox version of that, with force feedback. It's not required, and it's not really necessary. I think this is fine with a mouse and keyboard or a controller, but the steering wheel might be able to give you the most amount of precision when it comes to going around very precise turns, even at a slow speed. So it could just give you an example, give you a little bit of a boost.
That's nice.
A more
You need to do something
better
for us.
experience.
We forgot to take a picture on our way. Please take a photo for us.
All right, she wants a selfie. Gotcha. Well, I'm going to pull over here because there's really no good way to do it. I mean, we're literally in the middle of nowhere, and there's guardrails everywhere. Let's go ahead and exit the van. We'll do exactly what they say. LB to open the tool menu, R to choose the tool, A to confirm, and then we're going to take a photo. So we need to move a little closer to the street light. Now, this is where the game will not allow me to progress. We're supposed to hit F with the keyboard or A with the controller, and wow, thank goodness it actually worked. Cool. I was not able to get past this point before by hitting F on the keyboard. So those of you who may play this, if you have a day one snag, definitely use your Xbox controller or like a steering wheel if you can. Oh, looks like the parking brake automatically engages too if we get out of the vehicle. All right, that's handy. I would like to turn on my lights too. It does feel like the sun is going down, but I can't tell exactly what time it is. And we'll take a look at the world map here shortly, which is cool. Now, you may have seen this game before on mini channels during some of its demos during the Steam Next Fest, and the good thing about that is developers will often give or get a lot of feedback that players will give, and people will review the demo. A lot of content creators will play, and people will comment on what they love, what they think should change, or what doesn't seem to be realistic. So definitely do the same here on this video, and I'll give my feedback as I had about that little mishap with the F key, you know, me not being able to progress past that on a mouse and keyboard. It was like unheard of. So looks like now we're being asked to stop here. Oh, right into a load screen, and a very cool one at that with the large, I don't know what that is, conveyor or something on that multi-wheel trailer. Look at all the wheels for that trailer. That's insane.
You've arrived. Perfect timing. Our driver's canceled. You have to stand in for him.
Oh, wow.
So jump in the truck and save the day.
All right. Well, that's very inconvenient for him. Gets to miss out on the big day. All right, before we jump in there, let's take a look at this. I don't think I've hauled anything this big in ATS or Euro Truck. Hell no. That certainly has some huge cargo like boats and extra large trailers and extra large like cisterns and things like that on those trailers, but I don't even know what this is. Some sort of nuclear waste or something like that. It seems to be suspended on a very weird looking trailer. What would you transport in this? Is it King Kong in there or something? It really looks like whatever's in there they're trying to really protect, as if it's explosive or something. All right, let's go ahead and jump in the truck. Had to tie my shoe real quick. All right, so let's go. So move on to the next preparation task. There's a guardrail. Narrow point 800 meters away. And so I guess I'll just follow the trucks here. Now this is cool. Slow and go convoys like this are quite neat. And I really hope already that there's a way to maybe remove our character's hands from the vehicle. I didn't realize that until now, but one of the features of SnowRunner and also MudRunner is an option to be able to remove the hands of people who are driving. That way all you do is you see the wheel and their hands don't get in the way. Looks like we got some big fans out here too. They're taking pictures. We're moving at about 20 kilometers and not really going too fast or too far, I hope. But let's take a look here at the vehicle itself. So far, so good. Definitely feels good. It feels much more than just a farming simulator type feel, I guess. I don't know how to explain it other than that it's certainly not ATS and Euro Truck, but it's very close. And it is much on the better side of that type of experience than some of the other games we played too. I guess we'll try to cruise control it behind this guy. There must be a hotkey for that, although did they show me what that is yet? Differential, handbrake. We could loosen and fasten belts, camera up and down. Oh wow, we could adjust our suspension too. Alright, so there are ways to also use our indicator too with the left and right bumpers there. Okay, and the right trigger is just completely floored. I'm trying to get up this hill. Now it did look like when I played the open world version that there are different types of cosmetics that we can get. So rewards aren't always money.
Let me remove them quickly.
Oh, she's driving that truck up there. Alright, the van. Alright, so this needs to be moved out of the way. Or not, she's not really stopping. I think they've also maybe blocked the opposite lane of traffic. I'm kind of all over the road here, but... Oh, now we're loading the guard narrow point. Oh, now we're her. Okay. So the police are here. They're blocking the road. People are like, the hell's going on? Now we have to remove the guardrail. I think we kind of already did that, huh? Seems like it's gone. Deconstruct the guardrail. Go to the toolbox. All right. Pick up the impact wrench. So that must be in the van, maybe? Although I don't see... There was our vehicle there. Where would we get a toolbox from? Here? Okay, right here. All right. I don't know why we'd have a crate randomly here. You'd think she'd be in a vehicle, but okay. Deconstruct the guardrail. Face the guardrail. So here, maybe? They're not really indicating where. Looks like we'll stay within this track, so I'm guessing maybe pick up store. Okay. It's being very cryptic on what they want us to do. I think what will happen is we're going to go up through this middle lane and then finally start to take a right-hand turn. And it's possible that our trailer will hit this area. Oh, right there. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not indicated at all. Of all the areas that you could go ahead and drill, it just says go to the guardrail. And it's not even really giving us a measurement in the upper right corner for that. But it is cool that we actually get to remove that. Okay. So now we need to do that again. Now, this would be a great multiplayer game. Actually, planning a route with friends, having somebody in the lead car, and then making sure all the obstructions are clear, and then having to remove them maybe later on after kind of researching your route a little bit. So that's a cool thing. Oh, we actually have to hold it the whole time, too. All right, neat. Okay, so let's see. Pick up the guardrail with A. Oh, we still need to cut here. Oh, there's the indications right there with the spray paint, which is also another tool that we get in our toolkit. That's interesting. Now, before we took a picture of the of that actual pole there and not the guardrail, so that's kind of weird. No, I don't think we're gonna cut. Oh, really? We need to go further? Are we gonna be doing this whole guardrail? No, we shouldn't have to do the whole thing. No way, no way. I think it's just from here to here. Pick up guardrail with A. Okay. Now can we pick this up? It's been kind of detached. Okay, so she's deconstructing that. Cool. Store, A to store. Oh, we're going to pile it up all here. Ah, okay. Wow, so they physically make you do all that labor. That's actually kind of cool. I do wish we had something like this in Farming Simulator to show you how tedious some things have to be. Still done by hand, you know, even vehicle maintenance and whatnot all have to be done by hand. This gives you a great appreciation for everybody who has to rip all that stuff down and prepare it in advance. All right, one more to go. Now, I think... Well, there we go. I think this is a probably pretty extreme example of later end missions. They want to start you off exciting, where I think later on, earlier on, it's going to be just kind of smaller jobs that are still big. So that's cool. Put the wrench back and go to the finish marker. Okay. Preparation task completed. Good work. Well, thank you. Also, the fact that it's loading is, I guess, more of a fast travel.
I'm done. Be careful on the next bend. You have to take a wide arc. Go on.
All right. Fair enough. Also, that parking brake again. Okay. So they're more than likely going to want us to hang out near the cones on the left. Well, wait a minute now. That's gonna... Is that gonna get caught up here? Well, we tipped over a cone there. Is someone remote controlling that back section? Is that being controlled by someone? That seems to be too perfect to get around that corner like that. Not bad for a first try. Maybe bumped a couple of cones, but at least nobody's dead. I think it's nuclear weapons. We're transporting a bomb. It's a prequel to a FPS game. Finish cargo delivery. Now follow the Navi path to delivery goal. Now what's interesting too is every time I've seen this game and been playing the tutorial in open world, it seems to be always like this, where it's a sundown permanently type thing. I don't know if we can lock the time of day, and I mean honestly, for missions like these, it might be specific to something similar to maybe Train Sim World, where certain scenarios are kind of locked to a weather event or a time of day, where it's like noon and you're bringing passengers to a sporting event, or it's nighttime and you're going through a blizzard, that kind of thing. Alright, well, I've got the hammer down. We're doing about 40. Wow, that's a big O. This really reminds me of some of the large trailers from SnowRunner, too. If you've ever played that game, some of the end-game contracts in that are hauling around massive generators and drilling equipment that could be 4 or 5 times as long as your truck, or standard trailers like triple, double size. Yeah. Now we're going through... Oh, this is a nuclear power station. I was right, damn it. Wow. Oh, yeah, energy right there. Yeah, boom. So we're pulling into a big O nuclear power plant to haul depleted uranium, I think, or we're delivering new control rods. I don't know how they make those or transport those, but pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to stick over to the right side here. I don't want to hit anybody's car. A lot of pickup trucks those Germans drive. Hell yeah. Okay, well, I could only imagine we're supposed to park the front end of the vehicle here, and the trailer doesn't really matter. I also noticed there's a crane here, so we might be loading this cargo up into the station somehow. This is much easier with a controller, I've got to say. A mouse and keyboard is possible, but more comfortable with a controller here.
Now we need to unload our cargo and place it in the designated area. Use the crane to deliver the load.
Roger that. Okay, let's exit the truck. So do we have to do any sort of unsecuring of the cargo or dropping anything? No, not really. Okay. Now we're back into construction sim territory. Enter the crane. Okay. Maybe the back section. Yep. Okay, cool. All right. So extend the crane supports. Very nice. Frame a crane arm up. Rotate right. Extend crane arm. Hook view. Retract crane arm. Crane arm down. Okay, activate hook mode. Oh, I see. Okay. We can toggle between the crane boom and then lowering the winch for the hook. They want us to... I guess essentially what we'd want to do is we'd want to fully extend this crane and bring that hook down. And then is there a hook camera? We can't actually go with the hook. That's a shame. There's only a directly top-down mode, but no way to actually follow the hook. I'd like to get close to the cargo and see that. This will likely turn green then when we can connect. It's going to take a long, long time for that to come down. All right, there we go. So connect with the cargo. And then we're dropping it off in there within the walls of the power plant. Oh, it looks like it's actually something for the substation. All right, so it's not nuclear, but I got excited. We're at a nuclear power plant anyway, I'd imagine. Could be coal, but, you know, it's still cool to imagine. All right, so now we must turn the crane. Oof. I hit Y to go back into crane mode, and our crane kind of fell through the ground a bit. Our support legs are kind of buckled there, or really just clipped through. They're recommending that we go back into control mode, but we have to rotate the cargo now. It's facing horizontally. Let's go back into that hook mode there. Looks like a lot of things on the left side for maintenance. I did mention that there wasn't really any sort of vehicle damage, but perhaps there is some damage from the vehicles internally. So it looks like we've got like the hydraulics and the hook and maybe cables and things like that that might possibly be damaged. You see the engine and you see the oh, it looks like, can we really just skip this and just hit Y and that's it? Or A? It's green, so I'm wondering if we can drop it. I really wish for a much more closer view of the ground. Because we don't have a spot or anything, we're essentially asked to do this from like the highest up position. And there's not even a first-person mode in the crane. So it's like we can't really... I think we need a first-person mode in the crane, and we also need a hook camera that lets us get a little closer to the ground. Otherwise, I'm going to have to like retract the boom a little bit, and that just kind of feels weird. Fully stabilize crane by extending all supports first. Oh, wow. Even on the right side there, you see the status of the supports, too. I think I'm kind of defaulting in my mind to construction sim controls here, but I want to move the boom a little bit. There we go. But But I want to withdraw the crane then a little bit. So I don't know if this is going to drag it, but I don't want to do that. We need to obviously get the cargo inside that circle. But I can't lift the crane up anymore. We can retract and drag it, I guess? That's bad. But the crane can't go up anymore. Well, now it kind of like removed the circles around it. Well, let's see if we can pull it and drag it. You can actually see the winch pulling. Move cargo down. Target marker turns yellow. Rotate cargo. Place cargo.
Awesome.
Wow, that
Let's
was
call
dumb.
it a day.
That was horrible.
You tell the
I
customer
just
we're
basically
finished,
dragged
and
it
then we
into
can enjoy our
position.
lunch.
The crane needs a much higher up and down movement, especially here, since this is where they placed us. I didn't put me here. They did it. But it's fine. Not that bad. Okay, go to the target marker. All right. Guess we're going to check in with the foreman. Congratulations, you've successfully completed the tutorial. Well, good for me, I guess.
Now that the ink is dry on your employment contract, it's time for you to take on a few jobs yourself. You can find the available jobs on the map. Congratulations on your permanent position.
Well, thank you, ma'am. All right, so we delivered a little, I don't know, what do you call it, substation unit or something to the substation at the power plant. So now we got a few different jobs here on the left side. We've got heavy jobs and super heavy jobs, and they give us different rewards. So like things like a grill, different paint jobs, different chassis, maybe different pattern modifications or things for inside the truck. So that's cool. We could start with just the ones at the top. I think we have to earn the other ones, but I'm not sure what we need for the XP there. So let's go ahead and get started with this one. Oh, you can see where we got to go to actually start the job. Is there any that are closer? There's one from here. What is it? Freshly wired? Although I don't know what the start and the end point is. And it also seemingly is marking maybe... I'm not sure what that is. Probably where we took... Oh, this is probably where we took out that guardrail. And it's like asking us to put that back. Like, hey, there's a spot here that you should definitely do something with. That's the only one that's here. So it's not like it's a tricky area that we have to watch out for. But there does seem to be some sort of a job there for us. So let's go back to our jobs. Which I can't now. Actually, there seems to be jobs here that are indicated on the map. I wonder... go ahead and turn on our wipers here. Nice with the rain. Good touch. Great looking environments. 100%. Like, it really looks nice. Now that's interesting. In the map mode, it shows like two jobs here. One kind of to our left. But, yeah, where do they start? Transit low loader 6 axles. I think that may be the one we just did. But there's one to the quarry. Intermediate low loader with 4 axles. Okay, well, let's track that. And then I think we have to physically drive there, as we haven't unlocked fast travel points yet. We actually have to get on the road. Oops. We have to get on the road and drive to that location. So... certainly interesting. This game is going to have to be one we play a lot more to really get into the depth of what's here for its simulation. The crane was a little janky. The driving of the truck was really cool. And the concept of a whole as a whole, and not to mention the map, is great. Like there's a hydroelectric dam down here somewhere. Let me grab my mouse and keyboard here. And yeah, so it looks like there's a large reservoir here with a hydroelectric dam. There seems to be lots of small cities and suburbs and quarries and industrial areas and large fields and forests and cliffs and rivers. So there's certainly a ton of stuff in variety, as well as some really cool looking roads. Like imagine hauling some cargo. Where did I see it before? I don't know, down a road like that. That's going to be pretty tricky going on those types of roads there. So very cool stuff indeed. Well, I guess we'll go for a nice cozy ride for a little bit, but Certainly seems like a game with a couple of day one bugs that hopefully are patched within the first week of release. It's certainly a really cool concept and reminds me of other games, like I think one called Truck and Logistics Simulator, where you can, buy a truck and a bunch of different trailers, load up the trailers yourself, and then drive wherever you would like within this kind of fake city. And the city also reminds me a bit of some of those other games you've seen where, it's again a fictitious, usually German city where there's something like bus driving going on, or a tram simulator, or even farming simulator. Although, well, this looks like more modern because, of course, it's a modern Unity game, like literally coming out on October 9th, 2024. So that's cool. There's an area that we, I guess, took a picture of. I still looks like the guardrails returned, but I don't know what the purpose of that would be. Maybe it's like, hey, this is a hazard. If you get close to it, take a picture and you'll remember it for future jobs or something like that. So that way, you're always thinking in the back of your mind, heavy transport, if we ever have to come down this way, boom, that's where I would remove this barrier or something like that. So, always a good thought. Always a good thought indeed. Alright. So again, we have like the internet radio to drive around and listen to. Certainly a lot more chill, like ATS and Euro Truck. But we're working for a company and not working for our own, so there's not seemingly any employee hiring. I didn't really see a skill system. If we go here, I just see the different types of jobs. We do have a headquarters thing up at the top, so maybe we can buy one and maybe spruce it up a little bit, or use it as a fast travel point and buy several headquarters across the map between the cities, so we can use it as a quick travel point, fast travel between different jobs if we wanted to. I also don't see any sort of reason to slow down and drive cautiously in terms of like losing money from damage or fines. Like I'm pretty sure we could just shoot right through this stoplight and nothing will happen. Semaphores, yeah, just doesn't matter. Everybody gets out of your way. You got the beacons on, so you're on official business. Beacon business, I guess. Okay, that was weird. Looked like an AI car on the sidewalk and an AI character walking into the back of it. So it's not perfect. And, honestly, ATS and Euro Truck still aren't. And that's the most realistic thing ever. When you get a game that has dumb drivers that are causing accidents all the time, I want dumb drivers because that's what exists in real life. You see crazy people all the time. So having somebody, stopped way far behind the line at the stoplight, or somebody doing this, these are things that you're going to see all the time. I didn't even care. Cool. The rain is nice. I'm also reminded of a game that was about being a taxi driver in Barcelona that had a lot to do with realistic taxi driving. And a lot of people who were watching the video at that time, or rather the stream, had mentioned that they'd been to Barcelona. It was super realistic too. So it seems like with the games that try to simulate Germany, even the newest construction simulator tries to do that. Whenever they try to do something in terms of creating a city, they always try to bring all the cities together, like Hamburg and Berlin, and maybe I don't know, like other elements of monuments of other smaller cities, and then try to recreate something large, and then small, and then rural, and then farming all at once, like your dream city and City Skylines. Right now we're like at a port. Oh yeah, so boom, right here, Hamburg. Like like I was just saying, it's literally Hamburg. Wow, that's crazy. Exactly what I was saying. So we see a little bit of Hamburg here, and then like a little Berlin, a little bit of rock and roll, Not too bad. Oh, we're dead. All cool. So I guess this van, though, is this our only mode of transportation? I kind of wish we could, this is good if we're like leading the convoy, which also those missions exist too. I should show that off. Up at the top, we have ourselves spotting missions, too. So I wonder if there's one where we have to go out and do all the clearing ourselves like the girl did. But, it's like, I honestly, I think I would either rather just drive the truck and have the AI take care of clearing all the obstacles, or I do both. But I don't think I'm going to want to clear the obstacles myself. Like, driving ahead, removing a bunch of guardrails, throwing them on the ground, and then waiting for the truck to roll through is like, I would rather just type in a money cheat, honestly, and just get the money for the job. Okay, we're here now, wherever here is.
The conversion of the Creedow opencast mine into a follow-up landscape will
Ooh,
bring us
lore.
several tours there. Today, we're heading to the upper site with a heavy load. Watch out for oncoming traffic and the crash barriers to avoid hitting anything. The route includes a longer section through Velslo, as well as some tough climbs and hairpin bends.
Interesting. All right, and the convoy's already set up to go, and the rain has stopped, and the day's already decided. So yes, it seems like these scenarios are kind of like predetermined as to what's going on, and try to give us a different challenge each time. These aren't as organic as they are in ATS, where the more map DLCs that you have in that game, you might pass through, other cities and other states or countries or whatnot, depending on what game you're playing. But here they all seem to be maybe handcrafted, driving some cargo down there. So it looks like, I don't know, maybe 30 heavy cargo and 40 super heavy cargoes, or whatever the case might be. It seems like they're not procedurally generated, but maybe there's a point where they definitely will become that in the future. Maybe we'll just have to get there. And this cargo is not that crazy. This is just like a big oh hell, this could have just been an email, really. This would have been fine. In ATS or Euro Truck, there is no problem driving this without like the escort car. Now, to be fair, it's our first mission, but that person just litter the trash on the ground. Oh, I'm gonna run them over. Come here, Grandma. Oh, damn. Oh, she force-stopped me. No, I'm just kidding. She used her magic powers. Hey, look at that, though. The industrial areas look good. We've got, like, aggregate and, like, open storage everywhere. Don't worry about the citizens. We can't really be harmed. Or harm them. They can't harm us. All right, I see in the upper right corner, we've got our beacons on, but also it looks like cruise control's active, so there ain't no going over whatever the speed limit is. And again, we can just roll right through this. Like, there's nothing stopping us from doing this, can we? Oh, well, it did tell us now that you ran a red light. That's bad that we did that, but there must be a cruise control button too. There's a horn. Wait. Oh, here. Oh, okay, so if we hit right, we have our wipers, fog lights, beacons, steering. Why would I want to turn the steering wheel off? I want a cruise control, though. But here's just saying horn. Like, press B. Oh, there it is. Okay, now I can hear it. Sorry. But yeah, I definitely want to set up a wheel now and do this game legitimately. And there is some jank around the tutorial and some of the game's parameters, no doubt about it. But let's turn those wipers off. I think this is still a worthwhile experience. Like, if you like the heavy hauls from ATS and Euro Truck, I think you're really going to like this. And this environment feels a lot more like some of those other Aerosoft games, who is the publisher on this one too, but it seems like they partner with people who definitely end up feeling a lot like a, well, like an Aerosoft game. Some of others that include like driving buses around like the Canary Islands and delivering passengers to and from the airport to hotels and whatnot. But this is good. Like, look at this. This is pretty impressive what they made for a city. And I certainly would like to actually, you know, build a city like this in City Skylines. Now, hopefully, there's a rating at the end of these missions, too. They're telling us you're exceeding the speed limit, you're running red lights, you're, you know, not doing the right thing. So hopefully there's some XP bump or something like that. But it looks like the only thing that happens, you know, like we're not being, you know, damaged or anything like that. So it looks like the only thing that could happen is we're not going to get a reward at the end. But it showed like once we complete the mission, we get a paint job or something like that. So all in all, this is pretty cool, though. I got to say, more than not, I want to play this. Like, this definitely feels like the type of game I want to play. And it certainly feels like a, I don't know, a buffer where if you wanted to play a driving game, but you're not in the mood for ATS and Euro Truck and maintaining your already existing profile, this is one to goof around with for sure. 100%. Now, I just got to get better and probably switch to a actual steering wheel, because obviously, a game like this really requires precision, and that might be the best way to do that. Amen. Okay, well, that's all for now for our first look at Heavy Cargo, the truck simulator. I think the demo certainly did this one justice, and the full game is looking pretty promising. It's got a little ways to go with some feedback from the community. I think this will certainly be one that people will enjoy. Not going to be anywhere near popular like ATS or Euro Truck, but this is still pretty solid and a good one to get if you really love heavy vehicles and hauling big stuff like in Construction Simulator or Farming Simulator or in those ATS DLCs as well. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing and hanging out. I hope you've all enjoyed the video and maybe try out the demo if it exists still on Steam after its release. Again, I know this one's out today, so I hope you get it, enjoy it, let me know what you think, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.